What's up, y'all? You are listening to For the Artists, a podcast brought to you by Creative M Projects. I'm your host, Melissa Shatur. Look at that, I'm jacking up my name, y'all. That's because I have not been on in a minute. But I am your host, Melissa Sharee. Now, let me get my own name right. Listen, this artist that we have a feature today, so I know you guys are going to be excited about that. But the feature that I have today is bringing the heat right here from the LA area. His name is Jerry Randolph, also known as FLOMASTER. So we just, you know what? I act like I know him already for years. I'm like, what's up, Flo? But he's been a dance and fitness instructor for over 18 years. And he don't look like he's been teaching that long. Okay, what are you, 19? Looking like you're 19. He's taught dance, dance, fitness, and conditioning to all ages, all levels. He was sidelined by an injury. I guess we're going to talk about that early in his career. In the midst of rehabilitation, though, he found a new love for physical training. We have something in common there. After searching his ways to stay healthy and maintain his physique, he incorporated his dance expertise and developed a unique exercise conditioning program for all ages. As a dance entertainer, martial artist, Flo has shared both the big screen and big stage with some of the world's biggest celebrities. Y'all ready for the names? Y'all ready? Here we go. Will Smith, I just picked up his book. Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, Jennifer Lopez, okay, Jenny from the Block, Sierra, Nick Cannon, Wayne Brady, and Usher. This is my confession. You know, some people you can't say their names without automatically hearing a song. Okay, combining his background in dance and martial arts, Flo's classes and trainings have a unique blend that helps his students attain a greater connection to their physicality. So, Flo, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, I love it. All right, so man, you started off with all those big names. How did you get into dance in the first place?
I had a feeling you was gonna ask me that. So, I'm from Gaithersburg, Maryland, born
Okay.
and raised. And when I was a teenager, I wanted to be on the Olympic team for Taekwondo. I never wanted to dance. Dancing was not in my card. I never woke up to say I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be on the Olympic team for Taekwondo. But I'm from the hood. So from the hood, when you go into school, you know, you get beat up a lot. So I got beat up a lot. I got bullied a lot. I got my shoes, my clothes, my hat, my lunch money, everything taken away. Now, even though I know Taekwondo, but if you know anything about Taekwondo, it's all about the feet. So when you be kicking somebody and somebody grab your feet and pick you up and slam you on your head, Taekwondo ain't working too much in the hood. It ain't working too much in the hood. I'm not down in Taekwondo, but it didn't work for me in the hood. So I was like, so you start coming up quick, like, what do I do to keep the bullies off of me? And I started seeing all the dancers that was in my high school, because I go to Gaithersburg High School, that dancers. And all the bullies love the dancers because the dancers bring the women. So if you bring in the women, the bully's gonna protect you. So I was like, I gotta start dancing. If I start dancing, the bullies will leave me alone. So that's how I got started dancing, because I got bullied.
Flo, that's a crazy story, okay? And that's a scene. That's a scene for a movie. I can totally see that. Bruno Mars needs to play you, okay?
100%. 100%.
So you started dancing basically to save your life.
100%. Yes. That
And
was the only way that I could figure out not to get my clothes and my money taken away from me.
so you were just doing like just regular popular dances or
Yes,
what?
I was doing the regular dances that, you know, MC Hammer,
Every time.
Heavy D and the Boys. That was the popular, because, you know, I'm from the 80s, like I'm 80s and early 90s baby.
Yes.
So I just started doing all them dances, you know, and I got made fun of, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't a pretty sight, but I was determined to get better so I can at least get the bullies to be like, yo, anybody messes with Jerry, y'all got a problem with me.
So when did you start formal training with dance, or did you ever?
I never took a dance class in my life. I never had no
Stop
formal
it.
training. See, this is what people got to understand, and this new generation got to understand this. Back in the 80s and the 90s, our dance class was the clubs. Our dance class was the family reunions. It was the picnics. It was all that. That's how we learned how to dance. I never took a dance class in my life. I learned it in the hood, on the street, going to the clubs, going to the school parties. That's how I learned how to dance.
And you worked with all these big name people.
I worked with all, well, I didn't start off working with them big names first. So, so let's wind it back a little bit. So after I got into dancing, it was a crew. Like I was still doing some stuff like robbing. Well, not robbing, but I was breaking into stores.
Listen, Flo, you was robbing. It's okay. You was robbing.
So I remember this one incident that made me change my life around. I remember me and my boy, we climbed on the roof of a store at like 12 midnight, and we climbed down into the vent to drop down into the store. So after you drop down in that vent, it ain't no getting back in the vent. You got to go out in the back where the alarm's at. So we're taking all the clothes. I'm in the back stealing, my boy's stealing stuff in the front. But while he's stealing stuff in the front, it's undercover cops going around trying to catch drug dealers. So he sees my boy in the store.
Uh-oh.
They're waiting for our ass to come out. Oh, they wait. So we're happy. We got FUBU. We got Adidas. We got everything. We about to be styling going to school the next day. So we get to the door, and I said, okay, when we go out, I'm going to go right, you go left. He said, cool. When we opened that door, that line said, wheel. My boy went this way, I went this way, and I was running. And all I heard was, get him, boy. And I heard them dog feet.
Oh, no.
I don't care how fast you are. When you got clothes, you ain't outrunning the dog. So I said, forget it. I dropped, I threw my clothes up, and I said, I give up. The police officer ran, picked me up, slammed me down on the floor, took my head, put it in the mud, and said, shut up, nigga, and let the dog eat me for 25 minutes.
What?
25 minutes.
Oh,
they picked me up, put the handcuffs on. Now everybody's saying, oh, I feel bad. No, my ass shouldn't been in there stealing clothes. My ass should not have been doing what I was doing. But when he put me in the car and he put me in the cell, I remember to myself, I said, God, and I remember I looked up to him, I said, God, if you get me out of this, I promise I will never do this again. And that's where my dance journey started.
Wow. I mean, your story already, in terms of the things I'm hearing, are just so visual. I can see all this. This is stuff that you're like, it's like entertainment, but like it really happened to you.
I got marks to prove it. I got marks. I can't show it on TV because we might get canceled. But I got marks.
And you still smile. I mean, look at that. The smile. I mean, like, wow, none of that stuff brought you down.
Well, I wasn't the way that you see me is now. I wasn't like that back then. It took some years to get to this point. I got stories on top of stories.
Well, we're going to get into that because, you know, we live in a day and time where people are going through a lot of stuff, or they think they're going through a lot of stuff. I mean, I've never been eaten by a dog for 25 minutes. You know what I mean?
That's stole nothing, have you?
Right. Well, actually, no, I didn't.
I mean, actually going into a store and stealing.
I mean, you know, dang, I guess I'm going to get vulnerable. I did have a little stint in college. I had a friend, and she taught me how to steal in the stores.
Wow.
I didn't get caught though. I did eventually stop, but it was like, that's crazy that I even fell into that. But anyway, this we just carry on from there. Like my point is that, yeah, the fact that you have had all of these experiences and you still come out on top, shining and winning, no dance training, having worked with, you know, some phenomenal big name people. I mean, wow, we got to get more into how you got to there. So what was your first paid like dance gig?
Well, before I got paid, have you ever heard of the Rocksteady crew?
No, but I want to rock steady now that you said it.
You got Rocksteady, you got New York City Breakers. They are the originators, some of the originators of the breaking scene from the 80s and all that. So after I got ate up by the police dog, it was a couple of months after that. So I'm like, I asked God, I said, God, give me a sign. I got to figure out what I'm going to do because I only have two ways that this is going to end. I'm going to be in jail or I'm going to die. I said, God, I don't want neither one of them, please. So my dance partner, his name is Tony, he called me up and said, Rocksteady is coming down to DC. Do you want to battle them? I said, let's get it. Let's go battle them. Yes. So I go and watch Beat Street and I'm seeing Mr. Wiggles and Crazy Legs.
Yes.
Okay, I got that. Okay, I need to get that. Cool. So I go to DC, get ready for the battle. We come find out they are judging Mr. Wiggles, Crazy Legs, and Pee Wee Dance. They are judging. So And I was like, well, shoot, they be glad they judging because I'm about to smoke. Because I had that cocky attitude when it time. Because remember, I'm taking battling as built bullying. So I took that whole thing of me being bullied and I put it into my battling. So I will battle anybody. If you come bully me, we are battling. So I'm sitting there like, well, I'm gonna show them how dope I am. So I'm sitting there doing my thing. Then they had to do a judge showcase. A judge showcase is the judges are judging, and now they get to show you why they are judging. After they got finished doing their judge showcase, I looked up and said, God, thank you that they didn't battle me, because I would have got smoked. I never seen dancing like that ever in my life. I'm from Washington, D.C. They from New York City. I've never seen nothing. So I humbled myself and I said, what do I have to do to be part of Rocksteady crew? Mr. Wiggles, who took me underneath his wing, he said, you got to come to New York City to battle somebody to get in Rocksteady. And who did I battle? Crazy Leg. He is the president of Rocksteady. I battle him every other week. I go battle him in New York, get burned, come back. The following week, I go back again, get burned. Finally, they said, after a month and a half, they said, you are ready to get in Rocksteady. I still didn't beat Legs, but they wanted to see if I was dedicated and I was really into it, because Rocksteady was one of the #1 crew at the time. So they just don't put anybody in just to put anybody in. So I got into Rocksteady. So then Mr. Wiggles had a thing called Jam on the Groove. It's an off-Broadway hip-hop show. And somebody got hurt. I think his name was Zulu Grim. He got hurt. He said, Flo, would you want to take his spot in this show? And I was like, well, I don't know how to do H, but yeah, well, why not? So I went in there and started doing the H. Then before you know it, I'm in one number, I'm in the next number, and then before you know it, I'm touring around the world. And that's when I met Usher, and that's when I started with Will Smith and all that.
Wow. Okay. A real life example of preparation meeting opportunity, because you prepared. Homeboy was like, do you want to go battle? And you just was studying the film.
I'm going to say this one more time. I had two options, jail or death.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing. A battle ain't nothing. Like I'm like, I have to figure out something because what I'm doing is not working.
Dang. Okay. That's some real life motivation too. And you pressed up, literally back against the wall. Two options, and neither one of them.
None of them I did not want.
Yeah. So, okay. So you go on, you're touring, you're like living your best life. Yes. Okay. As a dancer.
Yes.
And then that's when you got your injury.
No. Nope. So I'm touring around.
I feel like we're speed dating real quick. It's like speed dating to get your story.
Yes, I know, but let's slow it down because we gotta get the juicy part.
Gotta get the juicy parts.
So I'm touring around the world for the first time. I never toured. Like I never been on a plane. My very first plane ride was with Jam on the Groove going to Toronto, Canada. And I remember me being on the plane like, why the plane dropping like that? Why the plane? What the hell is going? Like I'm a first time being on the plane, and then I just started traveling around the world. And I remember going to LA, and we did at the Minetta Lane Theater in LA, and I saw this Asian woman in the audience, and she had a push-up bra. I was like, oh wow, okay. I'm sitting there doing the choreography. I was like, hey, Asian girl, okay, we're gonna get this, okay, girl, okay. So after I got finished, I left. When the show was over, I run out there to see was she out there. So she's out there looking for me, and I'm hiding behind a tree, scared as hell, because I can dance and I can battle, but I didn't know how to talk to women. So I'm like scared. I'm like, shit, do I say something? I don't know what to say. What would I say if I go to her? So finally she drove away. Then I come out, then she drives back. So she doesn't say nothing. Her sister starts talking, and my boy who came with me, Dana, started talking. And I was like, well, we're coming to San Diego, because she lived in San Diego at the time. And I said, well, we're coming to San Diego. Maybe I can get your number and I can let you know when we're coming there. She said, cool. So I gave the number. So when we came to San Diego, I did one of your numbers. I called her up and I said, whatever your name is, I can't remember what your name is, but this is the guy you met at the show. Can you please give me a call back? And then from there, we end up meeting again, and then she became my wife, and I got two beautiful kids.
Yes. Okay.
But to go for the dancing thing is I moved to LA. First, I went to Vegas. Then after Vegas, I moved to LA with her. And that's when the whole thing with Will Smith and Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears and all that, because I started going to all the auditions. And it's really rare that you see a B-boy known as breakdancing. It's not called breakdancing, it's called breaking. Breakdancing is what the media gave us. The medias can't give us a name that they don't understand. It's called B-boying or B-girling. You pull it all together, it's straight breaking. It ain't no dance at the end of it. So I was the only breaker in LA at that time in the early 90s that knew how to do choreography and break. So I was doing all the jobs. So that's why everybody that you named that was on that list is because they could have somebody do choreography and do tricks. Why hire two people when you can hire one? And that's when I started taking over the industry in the 90s.
Wow. Okay, but wait, you were in Vegas, but you were having auditions in LA.
No, so I was in Vegas because I was in a show called Splash.
Okay.
And then after that ended, I left and came to LA.
Okay. And then you just took over the scene in LA.
And then I just took over the scene.
And at the same time, you were building your family.
Well, I wasn't. My daughter hadn't came yet. This is just me and my girlfriend. She was my girlfriend. Her name is Morena. She was my girlfriend at first.
Okay.
Then when I got on the road with Usher and started touring with Usher, I ended up breaking my foot. Then I broke my foot. So I had to not go to the Europe tour, but I was trying to get better for the US tour. When he goes to Europe, then he came back to do the US tour. So I was trying to get my foot better, but as I'm trying to get better, I found out that my wife is pregnant. So I got a broken foot and I found out that she's pregnant. And this is a guy who didn't want a family, who didn't want to get married. I didn't want no kids and I didn't want to be married. I really didn't.
Really?
Because I never seen what a good father is. I never seen a happy marriage. I never seen what a good father is. My growing up, like you see me happy and all this, but I have a lot of demons inside me that I have when I was growing up. A lot. And I didn't want none of this.
Wow. Okay. So you didn't want any of it, but it started happening. And then what did you do? Did you embrace it or were you bucking it?
So I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I know my daughter's going to watch this, but.
Okay. I hear you.
But when my daughter came, when I was on the road, when my daughter came, I ended up leaving with Usher to go for another 2 more months. And my wife had to deal with the baby by herself. And I was trying my best to stay away as much as I can because I wasn't ready to raise a baby.
Yeah.
I'm still a baby myself. How do I raise a baby when I don't even know how to raise myself? Like I'm still trying to figure myself out. Now I got to raise this other human being. So when Usher was over, I went back home and it's like, my wife got a job because she lived in LA. So she got a job to go to San Diego to work with Anthony Robbins or Tony Robinson.
Okay. The motivational speaker?
Yeah, the motivational
Tony
speaker.
Yeah.
So we had to move everything from LA down to San Diego. And I had to quit my job for a whole year to take care of this baby.
Oh.
And the first month, I was so angry. But do you know what? After that, that is the best. That little girl, Jerry Randolph, right now, she's 17 years old. She saved my life.
Oh, you said her name is Kiara?
Kira, yes, Kira.
Shout out to Kiara.
She have saved this smile that you see came from that little girl. That girl really saved me. Like my wife took me out of the dark, but my daughter turned on the light.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? That's like, I can't help but think of divine intervention. You know what I mean? It's like when we're moving along in a certain way and then something divinely happens to make that shift.
Yes.
It's like, what are the odds? Like, those aren't the odds. Like, that was divine. Your wife getting that job and you being forced into a position where it's like, okay, now is the time.
Now's the time. God said you was trying to run away for 2 months, but guess what? I got your ass when you come back.
So then that was the end of your dance career.
Or it wasn't the end of my dance career. It was the end of my dance career for a whole year because we're not gonna have nobody take care of my child. This is my first child. Like, we're not gonna have a stranger. We don't know you. You're baby. You're taking care of my baby.
Not today. Not ever.
So the last almost a year, we found this nanny called Brenda. Her name was Brenda, and she was the most sweetest. Like, you can tell a person when you see her and when you meet her, you're like, this is a good person.
Yeah.
she started taking care of my daughter and gave me time to go back to LA and do all dishes and do movies and do all that. And then finally, my wife got another job with Beachbody because Anthony Robbins wasn't like she was happy for a minute, but
Yeah.
as she started learning about the company, she wasn't too happy. So when Beachbody reached out to her and said, "We got a good job for you. We would pay for your moving costs. We would put you up in a rental until you find a house." I
What?
was like, and then my wife saw that I was sad down in San Diego because dancing is who I am. She was
Hmm.
like, "This is a win situation." So we moved back to LA. And that's when my dancing career started back all over again.
Okay. So what was that like starting all over again?
It was easy. I fell right in the fire.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
You got to understand when you take something from somebody who loves something and you put them back in, it's like, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I was even better. Like I think I needed that year off because I was getting burnt out. Remember, I was doing everything. Anytime
Mm-hmm.
they needed a breaker and know how to do choreography, they was calling me. It was to the point where I wanted to say no, but it's like you gotta pay your rent. You gotta pay money. So you can't say no. You can't say no. So finally, it gave me a year to really heal up and really figure out what I really wanted to do. And I came back stronger than ever.
So in that year, it's like you were trying to heal from your foot, but there was other healing that was happening at
It
the
was other
same
healing,
time.
yes. For me trying to be a dad, me trying to be a father, me trying to be a good husband, me trying to be a good friend, me trying to love myself. It was so much stuff that I have learned by taking care of another human being that I would have
Dang.
never learned if I never took care of her.
Yeah. You know what's so interesting about that is it's just making me think of how, certain things will happen. Like we might have something physically happen to us, like how interconnected everything is, right? In terms of the physical body, the mind, the spirit. It's like it's not just one thing happening. It's like one thing happens, but it's like they're all kind of intermeshed in some way and we don't even realize it until after the fact and then we're like, "Oh shoot. Look at that."
This was, yeah.
Mhm.
God has a plan for all of us. We
Yeah.
just we just got to get out of his way.
Got to get out of his way. So you had, it sounds like you had no fear either. Like when it came to dancing, I mean, and maybe that's because of your back against the wall, like your motivation. But you know how like nowadays people are like, oh, what if I'm not good enough? What if, they do all that what ifing. It sounds like as you're telling your story that never really presented itself for you. Or
Because you got to remember, if you never been through anything, how do you know how to get to something? I've been through something. I've been to getting eat up by a dog. I've been to putting in a jail cell. Like the people who are great, you look at all the people who are great,
mm-hmm.
all the people that are great been through shit.
Yeah.
What makes them great? Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer. Look of what he has been through. Prince, one of the best. Look what he been through. James Brown. Look what some of the best. Look at Aretha Franklin. Like I like to go to the African Americans, because people say that we are, and like everybody loves our swagger, everybody loves the way we sing, the way that we make dance moves, but they don't understand that came from all the struggles that we've been through. And if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't been through nothing, how can you go through something? So I've been through. So balance somebody and taking a job that I think I'm scared of ain't nothing compared to what I went through back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Jerry Randolph.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So now you're bringing us up to speed. So you're in LA and you restarted and you're moving and shaking, you're doing things.
Yeah,
And then what?
tear my ACL.
Tore your ACL. Now, did you do that on stage?
No, I did that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So everybody knows Jackie Chan.
Yes.
Jackie Chan is my hero. So you remember that I was on that off-Broadway show called Jam on the Group that I was touring around the world? Well, I did a dedicated number to, it was called Shaolin Temple of Hip Hop. Well, I will be like I'm Jackie Chan. He was my hero. All my dance moves that I battled people with, all the flips and stuff that I came up with, I stole it from Jackie Chan. He was my hero.
Yeah.
So when I'm in LA, I get a chance to meet Jackie Chan and go hang out with Jackie Chan. I remember the very first time me meeting Jackie Chan, he invites me over to his house because I was training his son how to dance, because his son came to a BBoy contest and he wanted to learn how to break. So he liked the way I break. So he asked me to come to his house. So one day I go to his house, Jackie Chan is there. And I'm like, right? So Jackie's sitting on my right side and I'm sitting here and I'm eating food. Now I'm full of shit. Jackie's piling more food on my plate and I'm sitting there like, can't tell this man I'm full, but I'm gonna keep on eating. So he asked me, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, nothing. He said, would you want to come train with me and my stunt team? So I do train with the stunt team. I'm doing all the stuff when they explode and when they jump you up and you get thrown and all that. I'm doing this. I mean, we're doing it for hours. So they had this thing called freestyle session. It's a big breaking contest. So I was like, they put me in their world. I'm going to take them into my world so they can see what I can do. Because I want them to be like, I want to be in the movie. I want to be the black guy to be in a Jackie Chan movie. So as we go to the place, we was going to go get some food, but we end up being lost. Now, this was a sign for God that I wish, this is the only thing that I wish that I would have took heed of. When I lost them, I should have took my ass home. But I was so eager to show off, and that ego got in that. I wanted to show off that I made sure that I found him. And once I found him, we ate, we went to the jam, and I'm showing off. I didn't warm up. My legs are already done from all the stuff that we're doing all day, and I'm going 1,000. And all I heard, I just did one move and I heard something go crack. Didn't know what it was. I ended up going home. They had to help me to my car. I went home. I went to a chiropractor to see about my knee. I didn't know nothing about no orthopedic because I'm not educated like that. Like I had no idea what orthopedic was. So this chiropractor took me for a year. He took all my money, all the money I saved up from Will Smith and all them. He took me for a whole year. He went to go get me, he made me to go get an MRI. But when you get an MRI, you need to be in the closed MRI, not the open. The open, they don't even do no open anymore. He did an open. So the open totally messed everything. And he pulled my knee, and you can actually pull my knee out and pull it back. He said, you sprained. So I paid this man so much money. And then me and my wife, we separated. Well, she wasn't my wife, but she was my girlfriend. We separated for a minute. And I remember I calling her and she was like, why are you seeing a chiropractor? Go see an orthopedic. And I was like, isn't that a foot doctor? She said, an orthopedic is a foot doctor, a hip doctor, and a knee doctor. You need to go see a knee doctor. And that's when I went to go see Mark Friedman in LA. And that's when he put me in a closed MRI. And he said, your ACL is torn. This is after a year. I've been dancing. I've been trying to do so much stuff. I remember dancing with Christina Aguilera on a torn ACL. And I'm like, why? And I messed up my other knee. So he did the ACL. I remember that I didn't have insurance. I didn't have no insurance. So you ever heard of Wade Robinson?
No.
Wade Robinson's the one that came out with the whole Michael Jackson molested him and whatever.
Oh, okay.
Him and his mother paid for my surgery and they took care of me on the couch.
Wow.
And after I healed for that surgery, I had to have surgery on my other knee because I messed it up by overcompensating because I didn't understand how they take care of myself. And that really put a monkey wrench in my whole dancing career.
Okay. So I imagine that was devastating.
It was devastating. I think more was devastating is that Janet Jackson called and they wanted me to come audition to dance with her and I couldn't because I had no ACL. That was more devastating than anything, more than my ACL to me. Just knowing that I couldn't dance anymore, like the phone was ringing off the hook. Flo, we need you here. Flo, and I couldn't do nothing. And I was running out of money. I was running out of money.
This is while you were healing, though, right?
Healing, yeah.
So you still thought was there still a possibility? Like you thought, like this is gonna heal and I'm gonna get back to dancing?
100%. There's no way that I wasn't gonna ever dance again. Even if the doctor said I wasn't gonna never dance again, in my mind, I'm like, yes, I will. Watch me. And I did everything known to man to get back on my feet.
Okay. And so, at what point did you face the reality, or did someone help you see like you're not gonna be able to dance like you danced before? Like that's it.
I honestly, when I was healing from my ACL, I had a chance to really sit back and watch other dancers because I still went to clubs, but I didn't dance. I was just watching. And seeing different people dance. Like I was a breaker,
Mm-hmm.
and I started seeing other styles of dance that I'm like, if I can't break, I can do that style now. I can learn that style. I can do that. And that's when I started learning from breaking to locking to popping to house dancing to the second generation of hip hop and salsa. That smooth Rico Suave. But my mind started to educate myself on how to take care of my body and knowing that I gotta do more than just dance, because just dance alone, it's not gonna pay the bills because I'm hurt now and I'm not got no money coming in. What happens if I can't ever dance again? What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
That's when the mind starts moving and working.
Yeah. I feel like for dancers too, though, that is it's like, you had an injury, but I feel like the body itself, just in terms of like aging and decline, like it's like, yeah, you can take care of yourself. And even like this applies to like sports people and just people that use their body 100, in general. It's like there comes a point where your body is not going to do the things that it used to do just because of the natural aging process, and it's like you have to actually process the fact that you can't, function and operate in that same way anymore.
Mm-mm.
But you weren't prepared for that because yours just hit you out of nowhere.
I ACL. Remember, I went to a damn chiropractor to fix my ACL. You don't go no chiropractor to fix
Yeah.
my ACL. You go to orthopedic. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know anything about that.
So
I
did you go into like a depression or anything? I mean, like,
didn't.
what the
Did
heck?
I? Did I? I was crying. I mean, it was one of the worst times of my life, but it's one of the best times of my life because, like I said, if you haven't gone through anything
Mm-hmm.
and never get to the next level, you have to go through pain. Like now, as I'm getting older and I know that I'm old now, that I know that everything that I've been through is helping me keep getting better and better in my life. You have to go through pain to see happiness. You can't just be happy without pain. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you said earlier. Everybody like, I'm scared of this, I'm all that. Like, because they never felt pain. People who feel pain will be like, let's get it. Where's that? Yeah, give it to me. I am ready for this shit.
That's
I'm
my
ready
husband.
for this.
He's like, yes, pain, and I'm like,
Pain, let's give it to me. Yeah.
no. Oh my gosh. Okay, but so listen, let's go to this depression part. Okay, real quick, because at this point you're an adult. Like you have a wife, girlfriend, wife, and then like,
We were separated. So I did this all by myself.
oh shoot. Okay, so you were
We were
separated.
separated for a whole year. We were separated because I didn't want to get married. And remember, before I had my daughter, I'm totally skipping because I know everybody's like, God damn, Flo, we confused as hell. Flo, slow down, bring it back a little bit, Flo. What the hell are you talking about? So when I tore my ACL, me and my wife now we was no longer together because she wanted to get married and have a kid. And like I said, I never seen a good marriage and I never seen a good father.
Mm-hmm,
So I said I couldn't do it. So she left me.
yeah.
And we separated for a whole year, and she found this guy. And yeah,
Oh no, she
oh,
didn't.
yeah, girl, yes, she did. But I don't blame her. Like, listen,
No, that's what we do. That's what women do.
that's y'all have to. Like any man who would tell a woman, I can't believe you found out. Look, you didn't give me what I needed. I gotta move on.
Right. She wanted to get married and you said no. So deuces.
Oh, deuces.
Yeah.
So I had to go through this by myself, but I had two good friends that was there with me when I was going through depression. Like I was sitting in the house and depressed, and these two people came and helped me because I used to have so many people call me. When I tore my ACL, no one called me, but these two people, and that's Super Dave is a dancer. And you ever heard of Ernie Ray Jr.? He played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He played
Okay.
The Last Dragon. He came and
The
he
Last
sat with me. Yeah, they came and they sat with me. They let me know, like, if it wasn't for them, I think I would have lost my damn mind. Lost it. But I made it through.
Yeah.
And
You
then
made it through.
Usher helped me out. Like I was dancing with Usher, and Usher knew that I was hurt. So what did Usher do? He made me come and help drive people around. He made me to start training him. He made me to watch the kids. Whatever it was, he made a job for me to keep money in my pocket.
That's
And
dope.
I thank that man so much because he didn't have to do that.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So how long did this depression go on?
Shit, depression still going on. Now,
No, it's not, because
no,
I
I'm
see
just
that
kidding.
smile and
I'm
them
just
pearly
kidding.
whites.
No, depression went on for about almost 3 years. Because remember, I went for a year.
Whoa.
Remember, I went for a year
Mm-hmm.
of a chiropractor just taking my money. Then I went for another year trying to get recovered. And then I went through almost another year of trying to just get my mind back in the game that I don't think I just hope my knee doesn't snap again.
Mm-hmm. All
But
right,
at the
I'm
same time, I'm learning.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put up. We're gonna hang out here for a quick second, okay? Because look, depression is like, I mean, it's serious business, and we got all this mental health stuff going on right now. People bringing attention to mental health, and back at that time, you probably weren't running around saying, "Oh, I'm depressed." Were you? Like, you didn't know it was depression? You just knew you were feeling what you were feeling.
I know I was feeling. Yeah, no, I didn't run around and tell people I was depressed. No.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. 3 years. Was there any point during that 3 years where you were just like, yeah, this is it, like I have no hope and I'm over it, and that's is that and you didn't get to that place because of the people that surrounded you,
It was
correct?
surrounding me. I was still going to clubs. I would still battle people sitting down in the chair and start battling people while I'm in the chair. Like I didn't give a damn. Flo was going to dance. I got on the Bosu ball. I started bouncing on the Bosu ball. I started boxing on the Bosu ball. Like I was just doing everything because I knew that I was going to heal. I knew.
Okay, so that's key right there, because you know what, there's some people that they lose their hope, they've lost that sense of the I know, right? There's no sense of hope. Like, what would you say to somebody that's there in
I,
that place?
I just tell people just like what kept me going is when when it's dark, it will
Mm,
be light sooner or later. You just got to hang in there because
mm,
darkness don't last forever.
yeah.
But I will say this: you got to get your ass up and do stuff. Though you got to stay positive. You got to keep that mind going because, like I said, a lot of people never been through nothing. A lot of
Mm.
people never been through anything. So when stuff bad happened to them, that's why I tell my wife now and my kids, if anything happens to them, they're gonna be a wreck because they live in Manhattan Beach. They never had the light turned off. They never had missing a meal. They never had Santa Claus never came. Like
None of
they,
that.
they, they never had none of that.
They didn't have to get chewed up by a dog and run
And
for
they
the
had to
life.
get beat up by a dog or get beat up by the bullies and stuff. They didn't have to do none of that.
Oh Lord, wow.
Badness makes you toughness. I just it's just I don't realize that and you have to go through something to be tough. To me, it just has to happen. You look at
Mm-hmm.
the greats. I'm gonna keep saying it. Look at anybody who's great and look at their story.
Yeah. Dang. So now I'm like, okay. So if somebody doesn't go through anything, they can't be great.
No, of course they can go to, but by them going through something, that's what's gonna make them great.
You're gonna be super great.
You're gonna be super great because you have to go through something. Like right now, I know that we're gonna get to it that me and my wife is separating. We're no longer, I live somewhere else and I live here. And now, I'm kind of in a depressed mood and really sad because I don't get to see my kids like I want to.
Wait, for real, like real time flow?
Yes, real time flow. Yes.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but you know what? You still got that fight because I see the smile.
Yes. Yes.
So somehow this is gonna work out. It's gonna be all right.
Well, I got two people that's depending on me. I can't give up. Before it was me. Now I got my daughter and my son because I got a son too.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't give up. If I give up, then what am I teaching them?
Yeah, yeah. But we already know you not gonna give up.
Oh no, hell no. No, what? Hell
That's a
no.
hell to the nah.
No. Not FLOMASTER.
Okay, so at this point, what are you doing? You're not dancing, but you're doing
So,
fitness.
so after my knee started getting bad, because you know that a couple of years ago they wanted to do a knee replacement because I had 12 knee surgeries.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
yeah, 12 knee surgery from breaking. But I always used to say this, and this is what I want to clarify right now. I always say breaking destroyed my body. Breaking didn't destroy my body. My
Mhm.
ass not setting down and recovery is what destroyed my body. So let's get that straight right now. Okay.
Yeah.
I never took time to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant even said it. Let him rest in peace. He even said it. He worked so hard that he destroyed his knees where he had to retire. Like he couldn't even do it anymore. But now he said if he ever came back, he had to recover more. He had to stretch more. He had to do mobility more. That's the stuff that your body needs to recover. It's not about as hard as you go. That doesn't make you better. What makes you better is how much you recover so you can get back and go again. And that's something that I never knew. So by me doing this now, and I'm like, okay, I can't dance like I do anymore. And dancing, you can't make a living from dancing unless you're a choreographer, because dancing is not like it used to be anymore. Since YouTube and TikToks and all that came out, dance is not like it used to be anymore. So I'm like, what else do I do? And now I'm with a company called Fight Camp, where I'm teaching people how to punch and kick. It's almost like Peloton, but instead of us teaching you on the bike, we're teaching you on the bag.
Oh, okay. And it's like a streaming service or whatever.
Yep. You end up
Fight
getting
Camp.
the bag and the trackers. It's called Fight Camp.
Okay, y'all check that out. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, I love. So here's the thing with recovery. It's like no one told you, you didn't know, right? In terms of recovering physically, but I can't help because with the organization, it's all about inside out, right? So it's like I feel like the same is true when it comes to like our mind, our emotions, our spirit. We can't just be going without allowing ourselves the time to just like settle, breathe, relax, recover. And I feel like we got to be intentional about it. You know what I mean? It's like take the time to be like, I'm going to recover. Maybe it's from an experience. Maybe it's from something somebody said, like whatever it is. Like we got to put that time in.
So I'm glad you said that. What happened when COVID came?
Everybody got a chance to recover. Okay. I see you.
What happened when COVID came?
Yeah.
They started understanding that certain people couldn't be in a relationship like they shouldn't be anymore. Because they knew that this is not the way it's supposed to be. Black Lives Matter started. People started seeing how African Americans was getting treated. They seen a grown man get killed on TV and everybody is shocked. And I'm sitting there like, this has been going on for years and they've
For a
been
while.
on TV, but everybody's so busy they don't even really comprehend. But when the whole world had to stop, that's when everybody started understanding, oh, wow, this is real. This ain't no joke. That's when me and my wife separated, and that's when we went our separate ways, because I had, she had a time to set back and stop, and I had time to stop, and we started saying, damn, this not working anymore. And then now she understands what she went wrong, and I understand what I went wrong. Like, I'm not gonna speak on her, but I know that I act like a child in the situation. She treated me a certain way, and part of me, I take the blame because I act like a child. Like I'm always like, what you want to do? Okay, what you want to eat? I don't know. You want to do that? I don't know. No, a man supposed to take a charge. No, okay, this is what I want. I got it, baby. Step back. I got this. Okay, the telephone people is calling about this bill. Don't worry about it. I got this. I never did none of that because I never taught that. Remember, I was raised by women. I wasn't raised by my father. Just my father had an issue, a problem, so he wasn't in my life. I never had men in my life. I had women. So I guess I was trained to handle the business like a woman is, supposed to handle, because I never had a man teach me how to be a man. I had to learn that the hard way.
You had to learn that the hard way.
I had to learn that the hard way.
Dang. And so, did you know? Because I'm just thinking about like, okay, so my brother and I were raised just by my mother. Okay. Right. My father was not there, and so I handled that differently than my brother, being a female.
Okay.
I just wonder, like, at what point do you realize? I mean, I knew from a young age that was a void, and I desired it, like, from a very young age, like wanting my father. Right. And so, but it's different in terms of like not knowing how to become like something. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to be a man. I'm being raised by a woman, so I'm trying to be a woman. Right. So I guess my question is, at what point did you realize, like, shoot, I need to be looking for a man to show me how to be a man, or did you ever come to that?
Oh, I started coming to that when I started losing girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I started coming to do that when people started running over me and still bullying me. Not bullying me physically, but mentally. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I have people treat me like that? Why do I let people talk to me like that? And I don't say anything. And then I see a person who's raised by a man, and I see these assholes, and I'm like, damn, he's cocky. He's an ass, a damn ass. But everybody respects them. Everybody's scared to say something like, yeah, don't say nothing to him, boy. He getting your shit. Like, let's go mess with FLO. Because I never stood up. So I was like, you know what? This shit changed. And it changed now. Like every since I started understanding that and I started learning that, it doesn't happen anymore. Like I'm standing up for myself. Like my whole thing is just like I said, I was bullied. I never had a dad who taught me how to stand up for myself. I had to learn that the hard way. And I had to learn that when I'm in my 40s. Like I'd be 49 next Thursday.
Okay.
And it takes me 49 years to get this, but at least I got it. But still, it took me 49 years to understand that. But a lot of it started with COVID when everything stopped and you had to really start seeing how everybody really acts and how everything slows down. You start to be like, I know where I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to change this now, or I'm gonna be lonely by myself for the rest of my life if I don't change certain things in my life right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful when we begin to take ownership of the things that we need to change and we do our part to change them.
Right.
And, with the understanding that some things can only be changed with divine help too. It's like we do our part and then like God helps with the rest.
Right.
But I feel like, you're as far as I'm concerned, 49 is young.
Thank
And
you.
and it's like some people live their lives and they never they never come into the truth about certain things. So I'm always like, yes, when the light does come on and we see, what we need to see, it's like, okay, thank you.
I got it.
But wow, oh my gosh, your story is so powerful. Here's the thing though, it's like even with all of those things in terms of like dad not being there, like all the things you experienced, like none of that affected your passion and your talent, your gift, you know?
I think that's what gave me my gift and my talent was that.
Mm-hmm.
Being bullied gave me my talent and my gift. Not having my dad around that much gave me my talent and my gift. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff, that badness, me tearing my ACL gave me my talent and my gift. Me having my beautiful daughter gave me my talents and the gift. Like it's all that stuff that, people say, damn, you had a rough life. But I'm like, but that rough life shaped me into who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't go through that. And somebody say, would you live your life different? No, because then I wouldn't be FLOMASTER. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't be FLOMASTER.
I wouldn't be FLOMASTER.
So what's next for you in terms of your flow mastering?
Right now, I'm just doing fight camp. We're just growing fight camp right now because I work 9 to 5. That is my full-time job now. And they just gave me to be the head coach for the BBoys that's going to the Olympics. So now I'm helping coaching the BBoys not to make the mistakes that I made.
Okay. So wait, we got breaking in the Olympics?
Reagan will be in the Olympics in 2024.
Is this the first time it's gonna be in there?
First time.
Oh wow!
First time is coming.
Look at you, a part of history.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is a guy who couldn't even break, a guy who couldn't even dance, but people saw how I got injured and how I started training Nick Cannon and training Usher to get better and get their abs and get them together. They was like, yo, this guy's doing that for them. I know he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen Nick Cannon's abs.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'm not Nick Cannon's trainer now, but I was back then. I'm not taking that credit for how he looks now, because that's not my work.
Okay, but you know what? You was a part of the seed,
yes,
okay, in the process. So okay. The seed is the most important thing. I love watching Jim and Fridge. That's how I know what his abs look like. Have you ever seen that?
Nuh-uh.
Jim and Fred. It's on Snapchat.
Okay.
Yeah, it basically it's like a celebrity opens the door and they're like, "Hey, hello, you want to see my gym? You want to see my fridge?" And we basically get a tour of their fridge and we get a tour of their gym. I love it. It's like so fun to
Are you
watch. It's
serious?
like 5 minutes long.
And what is it called? Gym Fridge?
Gym and fridge.
Gym and Fridge. I'm gonna go check that out.
It's on Snapchat, and I think it's a Men's Health, the magazine. I think they're the ones that do those episodes. But anyway,
Episode. Okay. Okay. I definitely gonna go check that out.
yeah, you know what? You should get featured on there. You should be like, one of the original BBoys, and come see my gym and fridge.
No, no. I don't want that kind of heat. Like I always tell Usher, I don't want to be a celebrity. I just want the celebrity money, but I don't want to be a celebrity. The way Usher like hanging out with him and he can't eat, he can't go places.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good.
And you never you knew you needed the money, but you never chased it.
Never chased
Right.
it. And isn't that crazy? I never chased money. I never did.
That's probably why you are where you are.
Probably so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never chased money.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to get ready to wrap up, but before we do, cuz you know what? You've shouted out God from the very beginning. Okay? It's like from the very beginning you was calling on him. God, if you do this for me. God, if you do that for me. I'm like, where did that come from?
Well, I was raised as a kid in the church. Like my dad, on my dad's side with his friends, they made us go to church. I mean, when I was a kid, I wear them checkered pants and them checkered shirts and sitting in the church. Yes, Lord. I didn't even know I got baptized. I thought baptized that they was gonna kill me because they got them white robes, and I'm like, what, probably 8 or 9, and I'm walking up there and they dunking people, and I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And they pick me and dump me, and I'm thinking I'm going to die. And then they give you this bread and this juice, and I think it's somebody's bone and the blood. And
Oh,
my
Lord.
goodness. I mean, man, Lord have mercy. So it's just always stuck with me.
It stuck with you.
It always stuck with me.
I mean, it's interesting because, it's like when you're raised in that, we take it to be true because of who it's coming from.
Mhm.
But then there comes a point in our life where it's like, it has to either really be true for us or it's not.
Yeah.
You
Well,
you
it's
tracking with me?
definitely true. It's definitely true for me.
And so at what point did that happen though?
When I seen everything that happened, I asked God when I was in that cell.
Yeah.
That dog ate me for 25 minutes. I said, God, if you get me out of this, I'm done. He got me out of this. I get a call from Rock Steady Crew. Now I'm in New York City. And then now I'm flying around the world. Now I got a wife. Now I'm dancing with Usher, Will Smith, and all that. Now I got a brand new baby. Then I got a son. I'm like, what else do I need for proof?
Undeniable. I love it. I love it.
I need a proof.
Wow. Okay. So Flo, I feel like we could just keep on talking. That there's so much more to your story. There's stories upon stories upon stories. I love it.
But you definitely got the main ones though.
Yeah. So, but we can't have people be like, dang, this podcast was like 120 minutes. Aren't they supposed to be like quick bites? I'm like, whatever. If y'all need small doses, put it on pause and, come back later. But anyway.
But I definitely want to say this before we leave. I just want to give shout out to Mr. Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles was the one I said in Rock Steady Crew, because he is the one that gave me the chance. Like he really helped save my life. Like it's 2 people that saved my life. Well, really 3. Mr. Wiggles, my wife, and me. Mm-hmm. People opened the door. Oh, and my daughter. When I'm talking, and my daughter, I have 4.
She turned the light on.
Everybody never thanks their self, but you got to remember, it's people there that open up the door, but it's up to you to walk through it.
Yes. Okay. We got the poetry snaps on that one.
It's just, you got to thank yourself because, people can help you, but how well can you help yourself when they help you?
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to help yourself. I love that. I'm going to be holding on to that. That's going to be resonating with me for the rest of the week.
Please.
And then some. And then some.
Get
All right. So real quick before I do wrap, Flo, this is the shameless plug part of the episode. So it's anything you want to shout out in terms of, things to look for, websites, places to go, all that. Let's get it.
No.
You don't have nothing?
Well, no, girl, I'm not here to promote myself. I'm just here to tell my story, help people to take care of themselves. I believe I can say this. I believe we're here for two reasons: to better ourselves and better other people. And if you do that, you have a long, happy life.
Yes. All right. Drops the mic. We're going to drop the mic on that one. Y'all, I'm going to wrap it up, okay? We have been speaking with FLOMASTER. And yeah, you've been tuned in and listening to For the Artist, a podcast brought to you by Creative and Projects, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I've been your host, Melissa Sharee. Check out the website, y'all, if you are looking for resources, help, want to connect, get involved. creativeandprojects.org. And y'all already know what I want you to do, and that is keep creating from the inside out. Till next week. As Flo said, don't forget to thank yourself. All right, y'all. Peace.